All right, everybody. It's been a while since I've been on here. Welcome back to Ardent Sports for the first time in well over a year, and about 2 years since the last live stream. So I'm hoping to have Johnny and maybe a couple other guys on here today. I'm currently working on getting everything set up, so I can monitor all the live action. We got a lot of trades going on so far over the course of the last few weeks, and we'll get into it here in a few. So. A lot of trades have been going on. For example, a couple notable ones. One being Max Scherzer headed down to Texas, along with Jordan Montgomery and Aroldis Chapman. So that kind of shows. Well, we already knew the Royals were going to be sellers, but that kind of shows that the Mets and Cardinals are sellers as well. So nothing really coming out of the Midwest in the Kansas City, St. Louis area. Nothing's really going to be coming out this year as far as playoffs go, unlike last year. That's fine. Sorry, guys, trying to multitask here. Come on. Thank you. And of course, it sent something to my phone. Trying to get logged into Twitter so I can keep up to date. Keep your account. Google send a verification code to blah, 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 blah. Yep. Oh, I'll get it eventually, I guess. A lot of, there it is. 08716. What the hell? Guess I should have had more of this ready, guys. I apologize. All right, so we're not going to be following this on Twitter, I guess. We're just going to follow this here. So a couple rumors are going on. The Blue Jays are rumored to be close to a deal to acquire Paul DeJong from the Cardinals. Again, talking about Cardinals being sellers. The White Sox are willing to trade just about anybody not named Luis Robert. However, the package to acquire guys like Dylan Cease is expected to be rather large. So let's get some of these tickers going here. So the trade deadline is actually at 6 p.m. this year. Usually it's at 4. So some key acquisitions, obviously Texas, we already talked about, Aroldis Chapman, Max Scherzer, and Jordan Montgomery. The Angels are actually rumored to be buyers after all, getting Lucas Giolito and Ronaldo Lopez from the Chicago White Sox and bringing back Randall Grichuk and CJ Cron from the Colorado Rockies. So that's going to be an interesting feat right there. Definitely interested to see how the Angels can stack against Houston and against Texas. So the Dodgers are bringing back some familiar faces in Kike Hernandez and Joe Kelly, along with Ahmed Rosario and Lance Lynn. The Padres just picked up G-Man Choi and Rich Hill, so they're kind of buying but not being aggressive. Diamondbacks picked up Paul Sewald from the Seattle Mariners. The Braves just recently acquired Brad Hand. The Marlins got Jorge Lopez and David Robertson. Lopez coming from the Twins and Robertson coming from the division rival Mets. So Mets are definitely in the selling boat. At least kind of sad. The Rays acquired Aaron Savale. The Baltimore Orioles acquired Shintaro Fujinami. Toronto got Genesis Cabrera and Jordan Hicks, both of those guys coming from, yet again, the St. Louis Cardinals. AL Central, we have Minnesota getting Dylan Floro from Miami. Cleveland getting Noah Syndergaard from the Dodgers. And then Trace Thompson going over to the White Sox from the Dodgers as well. Angel, I know what's going on. It's been a long time since I've really done anything on this channel. And the only thing really going on with the Central is Milwaukee acquiring Mark Canha and Carlos Santana. So that's everything that's going on so far. I keep refreshing CBS here, trying to get more news. The Dodgers are opening up a roster spot, sending Justin Brujil, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, to the Rockies. So Dodgers are opening up a spot. So they've been rumored to be looking at Verlander. So that could be a thing. Like I said, Dylan Cease is not going to be easy to acquire by any team. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how that fares. Angel, how you been? It kills me because this is the first year in a while that at least I don't think I have access to MLB Network. And it's kind of driving me nuts a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I can't complain. Working a lot. That's why I haven't really been uploading. Just that, and I haven't really had the time or the drive really to do a whole lot, if I'm being honest. Been doing a lot on my other YouTube channel, which is ABZ Bowling. Me and a couple of my buddies put together a bowling YouTube channel. Is anyone want to hook me up with their login for any kind of cable so I can watch MLB Network? So I can at least watch some live updates here. Because I don't think, because I have Spectrum, but I don't them. I don't have, and even that, I have no idea what the login is. If this works, I'll be surprised. Nope. Didn't think so. I don't know my login. I'll figure it out, Angel. Or if you at least know the username, make a new password. And you can change it after to kick me out. Yeah, so I keep buffering on my end. I hope this is coming through okay on the actual stream. I won't be able to do the whole derby, but I'll be able to get at least most of it. You don't know the user either. Angel, is everything coming through okay? Am I buffering at all? No, they said they're not. They told me as I got out there, don't even worry about it because they're not going to be able to do whatever they're trying to do today anyway. So I moved it anyway, so it was done. But all right. I should start streaming on TikTok Live, huh? Oh, wrong direction. So the only thing with doing that is you have to have so many followers. I think it's like 1,000 or something like that. And I don't have that. I have like a couple hundred maybe. In the time I was gone, the Diamondbacks have talked about Lorenzen with the Tigers. And the Blue Jays have acquired Paul DeYoung from the Cardinals, like I rumored to possibly be happening. Yeah, Angel. So that is the downfall with get and ironically there are guys outside they're gonna be working on the utility pole. So I may not be able to go as live for as long as I think. So Johnny, if you're watching, because I see a couple more people in here and you want to come up here, I would recommend doing it now. He does. So Bo Bichette actually got injured last night. They don't know how long he's going to be out for, so Paul DeYoung will slot right in at short, at least until Bo is back. And then I know Paul can also play a little bit of second, a little bit of third. Second base being a position they're kind of weak at points throughout the year. Oh, and it's back. Okay. Jesus Christ. See, this is why I don't really do this stuff anymore because I always have computer issues. Like, you want my full honest as to why I'm not here a lot? I get computer issues because the bowling stuff, all I have to do is sit in front of a computer. My buddy actually runs the live stream. So I just have to be able to get enough of a signal for my camera to work. Not run 6 different screens. So we can now add. So the Blue Jays and the Cardinals are just like insane trade candidates this year because in 3 separate trades, Blue Jays have acquired 3 players, all from the St. Louis Cardinals. So should we start calling them the Toronto Cardinals? Throw the AL East back up there. Now that Paul DeYoung is now going to be a Blue Jay. So. All right, guys. I might try and get going on some stuff like here again, but it's been a lot of work. So I want to talk about something. I was hoping for Johnny to be up here when I started talking about this, but I guess I'll get it started without him here, and maybe he'll pop in. So if you would have told me that when the season started, teams like the Rangers, like the Reds, like the Angels would be vying for a playoff spot, I would have told you were crazy. If you had told me that the Orioles would be in first place in the AL East, I'd have told you were crazy. If you told me that the Yankees were going to be in dead last in the AL East, I'd have told you were crazy. I thought for sure that was going to be Boston, if not Baltimore. But yet, here we are. All these different things are happening. And I don't think a lot of people have any rhyme or reason for it. I really don't. It's absolutely crazy to me that some of these different things are happening. Trying to watch for anything. A couple people just commented on MLB on Fox's post about the Paul DeJong trade, and now taking the field, your Toronto Cardinals. I'm like, I just said that. Trying to share out that I'm live here while I wait for more trades to happen, or even speculation of more trades. There's really nothing going right now. So the Cardinals are receiving Matt Swanson in the Paul DeJong trade. Again, there was the talk of the Reds looking for starting rotation help. Again, notable options: Logan Gilbert, Mitch Keller, Jose Quintana, Brady Singer. Of course, Verlander fits a bill as well. However, it's, like I said, going to be a longer shot for that, only because of the simple fact that they don't have a lot of prospects, and the prospects that they do have are already up in the majors, contributing to their success. So do they really want to get rid of guys like Elly De La Cruz and Encarnacion to bring in Verlander for a year when they could have Elly De La Cruz and Encarnacion forever? So it looks like Johnny's coming up in a minute, guys. So get some back and forth going here. It won't be just me reading off of a monitor. So it makes me wonder, though, just how serious was Bo Bichette's injury. That they felt they needed to acquire a shortstop. Now, I've been saying that Paul DeJong needs to be traded out of St. Louis for years. And, that he was kind of blocking some of the younger guys that they've now moved to other positions. And I don't know. I don't like, if a player's not working, then there's no reason to keep him around. And that's how I kind of feel what was happening with Paul DeJong with St. Louis. Like, he was doing okay, but you're a career 240 hitter and wondering why the team isn't making it past the wild card. Now, Paul DeJong used to be very good, but he's definitely fallen back. And I just found the video of Bo Bichette's injury, so I'm going to take a look at that and see just how bad it was. Oh. Something in his knee, it looks like. So like I said, guys, Johnny should be up in another minute or two. Angel, you still floating around? Here we go with another buffer. Kind of getting old, not gonna lie. That's how I meant to do. Let's put this in a full screen on my computer. I don't know if I even did that for you guys. I probably already was, but it's fine. I'm just kind of messing with stuff really quick just to see what all this is about. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if any of that even transpired onto the live, but if it did, I apologize. Just looks like there's different ways you can set up the cameras and whatnot. So nothing really new. Everything's been kind of status quo since Paul DeJong got traded. We got the Reds looking for rotation help, which doesn't surprise me. The Diamondbacks are talking about Lorenzen with the Diamondbacks. Or the Diamondbacks are talking about Lorenzen with the Tigers. Let's try that again. There's nothing else really new. Like I said, there's the fact that the Dodgers open up the roster spot. There is not a lot going on. See, we got a new subscriber, Double Agent. Thank you. My buddy Brandon wants to pop up too, but he's not sure if he'll be able to. Anything else going on? It's been a couple minutes. Mariners are trying to find a bat. I'm sorry, Mariners are trying to get rid of a bat and give it to the Twins. Interesting. Twins have been inquiring about Teoscar Hernandez and Ty France. Minnesota is definitely looking to add some right-handed hitting. So I don't know. I saw a stat line the other day, and it was talking about Rizzo and Gallo, their comparison within a certain span of games in their time for the Yankees. And they're saying that Gallo is actually better than Rizzo. Rizzo currently and Gallo in his time with the Yankees, saying that Rizzo was actually better. I'm sorry, that Gallo was actually better. I don't know how to feel about that, if I agree with that. Because while yes, Rizzo is striking out quite a lot, Gallo struck out 3 times a game. I can't tell you how many games in a row. So I'll move this actually over to this monitor, so I'm kind of looking more at the camera. So there was also rumor of Verlander being traded back to Houston. Those rumors have since cooled off. A little bit of an update here. White Sox are taking more serious offers for Dylan Cease. No sure thing he moves, but at least considering it for now. Kenyon Milton almost certain to be moved by White Sox, who are listening on Tim Anderson and Eli Jimenez as well. What should the Yankees start doing to be successful? Learn how to play baseball. So Judge coming back is going to be a huge help. I think Sean Casey helping out Stanton, especially, is going to help out a bit. It looked like he was helping Rizzo as well. They're both kind of crouched a little bit more when they're in the box, but Rizzo almost seems to have slacked off of it already. And Casey's only been around for 3 weeks? I don't know. I personally feel that the Yankees are going to be sellers. If they do anything, they're either going to do nothing or they're going to be sellers. When I say sellers, I don't mean they're going to trade Giancarlo Stanton. They're going to trade Anthony Rizzo. They're going to trade Gleyber. Well, they might trade Gleyber, but they're going to look to trade off some of these guys that are free agents at the end of the year. Your Kiner Falefas, your Harrison Baders, your Luis Severinos. I genuinely believe that if the Yankees do anything, it is going to be basically they're going to fold in the towel on the season, and that's going to be that. I don't think that they can climb themselves out of a hole that they have dug themselves kind of too far into. I mean, you got to think about it. They have to overcome 3 teams now just to overtake the last wild card spot. And even then, you overtake the last wild card spot, you're facing the number 1 seed, which, as of right now, is going to be the Texas Rangers. Aroldis Chapman, Jordan Montgomery, Max Scherzer. 2 former Yankees and a guy who destroys the Yankees. So I genuinely do not believe that the Yankees are a postseason team. On paper, they're fantastic. If you think back 5 years, okay, you have think of these names 5 years ago. You have Aaron Judge, you have Giancarlo Stanton, you have Garrett Cole, you have Carlos Rodon, Anthony Rizzo, Harrison Bader, Severino even. You have all these guys that on paper should be borderline MVPs and Gold Gloves and Cy Youngs and this, that, the third. But in reality, they're doing absolutely nothing. Judge is hitting, I think, 260 this year. Stanton's hitting right around the Mendoza line of 200. Rizzo's hitting around the Mendoza line of 200. Cole has been amazing. And Rodon, since he's come back from injury, has been pretty solid. Has he been his San Francisco Giants or even no-hitter with the White Sox self? No. But he's looked very good. I don't know. I personally don't think that the Yankees are going to acquire any big names. I think if anything, they'll ship out a couple names. But that's just me. Nothing more really happening right now. Johnny said he was up. Gonna be coming up here in a minute, and that was about 10 minutes ago. So, Johnny, you okay? Harrison, see, I just got done talking about this. Harrison Bader is drawing trade interest, uncertain whether the Yankees are serious about dealing him. Reported, or Joel Sherman reported New York may consider dealing their top rentals, and Bader is one with value. See, that's exactly what I was just talking about. You know, the fact that he seriously maybe dealt. You know, you really never know. I gotta figure out when Draft Hack Mark is going live because I know he's gonna be doing a trade deadline special as well, and apparently not yet. Oh nope, he is. Nope, never mind. That was last year. Oh, he hasn't done a live in 2 years. He didn't do a live for the trade deadline last year either. Okay, now I don't feel bad. Although he is much more active on his YouTube channel than I am. No, let me get Twitter pulled up here on my computer. Since I can't seem to get it pull up my iPad for some reason. Or what is it now? X. So stupid. Log in. Just sign me in. No, definitely not that one. Oh, freaking no. Is it that one? Apparently not. It's not that one either. All right, so I guess I can't log into anything on Twitter or anything except for my phone. Cool. Still nothing more news-wise on any impending trades other than obviously the about teams having interest on Harrison Bader. Try to see if I can find anything more. MJ awesome. Go Angels. Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not not necessarily an Angels fan. I just have hats for almost every team, and this is the first hat that I grabbed. So I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna I know he really is. Like, what the hell? Jesus, that's funny. My friend texted me, "What do you live on YouTube for? What? The MLB Trade Deadline? I don't know what that means." I'm like, "Oh, you are such a non-baseball fan. I love it." All right, CBS, give me some new updates. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Angel, are you big on baseball? I can send you a link if you want to pop up. To put your mugshot up here with me and talk baseball. Especially since Johnny's taking his sweet ass time. Now this is taking its time to update. Gotta love it. Oh, I'm not that big of a fan. Fair enough. Fair play. Once again, just for a recap, key acquisitions for the American League West: Texas acquired Aroldis Chapman, Max Scherzer, Jordan Montgomery. Angels also looking to be buyers, acquired Lucas Giolito, Ronaldo Lopez, Randall Grichuk, and CJ Crone. Just realized I never did proper punctuation. That's fine. Don't care. The NL West, we got the Dodgers bringing back Kike Hernandez and Joe Kelly, along with Ahmed Rosario and Lance Lynn. The Padres picked up G-Man Choi and Rich Hill. Diamondbacks picked up Paul Sewald and are also looking at possibly getting Michael Lorenzen. And at least we have Atlanta getting Brad Hand, Miami getting Jorge Lopez and David Robertson. The American League East, Tampa Bay getting Aaron Savale, Baltimore getting Shintaro Fujinami, and Toronto getting Genesis Cabrera, Jordan Hicks, and Paul DeYoung. American League Central, Minnesota Twins getting Dylan Floro, Cleveland Guardians getting Noah Syndergaard, and the Chicago White Sox getting Trace Thompson, Klay Thompson's brother, for those of you that did not know that. And the National League Central, We have the Milwaukee Brewers getting Mark Canha and Carlos Santana. Still nothing new on any moves for that matter. To Johnny again, like, are you okay? So Royals are fielding some offers that just came through. But it's like I'm trying to think like who all do they have other than who they've already gotten rid of. So one thing that did happen for the Mets is when they traded Max Scherzer, they acquired Luis Angel Acuna, which is Ronald Acuna Jr.'s brother. Oh, I forgot one. Jaime Candelario went from the Nationals to the Cubs. So that is something that happened. Oh, and it didn't say for some reason. Why? Forgot that one happened. I'm just looking for anything that may be happening. Should the Yankees fire Cashman? Yes. Absolutely. Yankees rumored to be interested in Tommy Pham. I don't think so. That's another thing for anybody in here. I don't know if I have any Yankee people in here or not, but if the Yankees were to miss out on the playoffs this year, yes or no? Do Cashman and Boone keep their jobs? Personally, I say no. That's my hope. I know they probably will, but my hope is no. Yankees should be going for big names with all that budget. I don't disagree with you. However, there's strong speculation, and it's getting stronger almost by the minute, that guys like Bader. Oh, Dylan Carlson has been on the Yankees' radar for 2 weeks. Under control through 2026. Switch hitter can play all three outfield spots. Yankees will need a center fielder next season and need a left fielder right now. I don't hate that. So let me explain why I don't hate that. First off, it's another Cardinal. Yet alone another Cardinal being dealt, so they're really just folding in the towel. I think the only guys they're going to keep are probably Goldschmidt and Arenado as far as big names go. But anyway, where I'm going with this. So put Carlson over in left for this season. Let Bader walk in the offseason if they don't trade him today. Let him walk in the offseason because he's too injury prone. He's probably going to want way too much money. And Carlson is your center fielder next season, possibly the season after that. Move him back to left. Bring up Jason Dominguez. If Dominguez isn't ready by the end of next season, because I don't think he's going to be ready this season. Bring back Girardi. So I don't hate rumored being in on Carlson. I don't. I don't think that acquiring Carlson, if they were to, necessarily signals the Yankees as buyers. Because it's not like they're going out and getting Juan Soto, Shohei, Verlander, or anybody like that. They're simply just getting players to fill voids for other players that they might be trading. Like, part of me wouldn't be surprised to see some kind of package centered around Torres and Carlson changing hands, honestly. Because the Cardinals technically... I don't know what just fell, to be honest with you. The Cardinals need a second baseman. I literally don't see what just fell. I knocked something over. Yeah, I have no clue. Anyway, Cardinals need a second baseman. I changed my channel name this morning. I wanted to make sure it was fully updated on all my platforms. So he's no longer Johnny Talk Sports. Wow. Oh, Yankees considering outfield shuffle. Yankees don't seem positioned for any kind of headline-grabbing deadline, but Joel Sherman reports that they continue to be interested in Cardinals outfielder Dylan Carlson. At the same time, Yankees may be dangling former Cardinals flycatcher Harrison Bader. Carlson's a former first-rounder, so there's some upside untapped, but he's a similar player to Bader, if younger. That is, he's a plus fielder in center with issues against right-handed pitching. Carlson's a switch hitter, but he's long been much better from the right side. St. Louis has an overcrowded outfield situation, so they're open to moving Carlson or perhaps Tyler O'Neill. That is from Dane Perry. And I apologize if you guys can hear my dogs freaking out. And my Wi-Fi just cut out my iPad. What the hell? think my iPad might have just temporarily crapped out on me. That's cool. So I'm doing everything from the phone now. It's fine. Oh, I forgot I was still playing Immaculate Grid. A player to play for the Brewers and the Astros. While we're waiting for more trades to happen. Oh. Zach Greinke. And a Blue Jay with 30 plus stolen bases. Henderson ever do it? For the Blue Jays? I'd imagine he must have. He did not. I don't think Jose Reyes ever did it. All right, come on, let's get some trades going here. The Blue Jays have emerged as the front runners to acquire Teoscar Hernandez, or should I say reacquire Teoscar Hernandez. Astros are the front runners to acquire Justin Verlander if he is dealt at all. G-Man Choi and Hyasung Kim are going to play together. I just realized that. That's great. Yankees should start buying or start using aluminum bats. They may have better luck. Sounds about right. There he is.
Yeah, sorry I'm late, man. But yeah, I probably should have made like a video announcing the new channel name because I felt like he was due for a name change.
That's fair.
I feel like I hopefully this new name, it kind of rolls off the tongue better for people.
Johnny Sports Network.
Yes.
Okay.
because I was down to a couple names. I was trying to find something that people could search for, and this is ultimately what was the deciding factor in that. But yeah,
Fair play.
before I came on, I was actually thinking to myself, I remember that one year where you invited me on, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if anything big happens because usually more often than not, it feels like the big names they talk about get dealt maybe the day or two before, and then all of a sudden everybody and their mom gets traded.
Yeah. Because I think that was the year that Verlander got traded, like literally at the deadline.
Yeah, I think it was. I don't know. Was it the? It may have been the COVID year, right? Because I think that was
I
when
think
they only
so.
played 60 games.
Trying to see anything new going on.
But I will say, I'm not surprised at the Cardinals they're being sellers this time around. I mean, usually we don't see the Cardinals do anything at trade deadlines or in the offseason.
Yeah. So, several Mets minor leaguers are at the ready at the team's Kansas City hotel, waiting to take the place of players they expect to move. So, Mets are apparently expected to make a couple more moves.
Actually, I'm going to look up right now the current standings here. Because I will admit, I've had a hard time keeping with baseball lately.
That's fair.
It's just that there's 162 games a year. It's like, that's just way too many for me. Like, usually for baseball, it's like I'll be into it for like the first maybe 3 weeks of the year. Then I'll probably dip until maybe probably June-ish. And then trade deadline week, that's usually when I tune back in for it.
Yeah.
Then I kind of check out to the playoffs because the playoffs for baseball, they are very underrated.
Absolutely, especially when you have these teams that no one expects to be in. Like I was just saying earlier, I'm like, if you would have told me at the beginning of the season that the Reds, the Rangers, the Orioles, the Diamondbacks all would be fighting for a playoff spot, I probably would have told you were crazy.
Yeah, I mean Baltimore. I felt like they were about a year or two away because they've got a really good young team. It's just that I felt like it was going to be at least maybe 2 more years till we were talking about them being playoff contenders.
No, I agree with that completely.
Yeah,
and
and
even
if
the
you would have
Cubs
told
are
me
trying
that,
to.
yeah, if you would have told me the Yankees were in last in the AL East, I would have thought that Aaron Judge got suspended for the entire season or something.
Right. Like no Cole, no Judge, no.
Yeah, I would have
No
thought they all
Rodon.
got suspended or something.
Just no.
Or they all got hurt in like the first month of the year. But yeah, the Reds, they just seem to be America's team, it feels like right now. Because ever since they called up Ellie De La Cruz, I mean, they've been one of the hottest teams in baseball.
Yeah, and then they called up the other Encarnacion.
I mean, I kind of thought that the Diamondbacks, they were leading the NL West at one point, but they're 3.5 back now. But that's still a dogfight there.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And I also feel like the Rangers, I thought they had potential. I didn't think they'd be leading the division at this point, especially when you have the Astros in your division. Although it's only a half game right now, but the fact they're still leading, that's huge for them.
Right.
And then going into last week, the big question was, will the Angels trade Shohei Ohtani, try to get something out of him before they lose him in free agency for nothing? And since they are still fighting in that wild card race, yeah, it looks like they're 3 games back of that final wild card spot. So they clearly went all in by what they've done in the last week.
Yeah.
But this is a gamble, though, for the Angels. Because if the Angels don't make the playoffs, I feel like we're going to see a lot of questions on, like, probably not even just Angels management, but in the front office as well, because it's almost, how do you have two generational talents on your roster that can't make the playoffs?
Exactly. Well, and here's the thing. I don't think it falls on Phil Nevin. I really don't. And the reason I say that is because he's only in his first full year as a team's manager. He just signed that 3-year deal. Or maybe it was 2 years, whatever it was. I don't know. I personally don't think that this will fall on Nevin. I think if anything, it'll fall on like upper management.
I think it should, because I don't recall like how long it's been since Ohtani's been on the Angels roster. I think since
2017.
2017. So about maybe 6 seasons. And it's like, if you're gonna have two generational talents in Shohei
Or
Ohtani and
2017,
Mike,
2018.
yeah,
One of those years.
anyway, if you're gonna have two generational talents on your roster for that long and you don't make the playoffs,
Right.
you just got to look for who's like responsible for that. Because almost in any sport, really, like, if you're gonna have two generational talents on your roster, like, you should at least be making the playoffs.
Right.
Like, just like the Atlanta Falcons coming up the NFL season, you got two generational talents in Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson. If you don't make the playoffs for like the next 3 seasons, you've got to like start asking questions.
Absolutely. So I'm editing a banner here because I realized I don't need to have this set into like 8 different spots.
Yeah, it's best to do that now because I think we're at a quiet point here. But I will tell you, though, one player that I really thought was going to get traded like mid-season was probably Marcus Stroman. But he's been struggling lately. And I don't know like which team wants to take a gamble on somebody that's been struggling.
Right. And not only that, but I don't necessarily think it's the fact that he's been struggling, because he's actually been doing okay overall. He hasn't been stellar, but overall he's been okay. I think it's the fact that the Cubs are actually starting to win at least a little bit. And that's why they took guys like Bellinger, like Stroman off the market.
Because going into the year, I thought to myself, okay, if the Cubs, if they're below 500, if they're in the bottom of their division, then I think they're going to be selling a bunch of people. But since they are, I believe they're close to, if not right at 500, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm trying to think now myself. Well, then I got to look that up now.
As I was actually talking to a Cubs fan a couple days ago, and he was telling his dad that, that it was actually bringing up David Ross and how they need to get rid of him if they don't make the playoffs, because that was a stunt hire.
Cubs are 500 exactly.
Okay. But yeah, if the Cubs will make the playoffs, I feel like they got to make a move and get rid of David Ross, because that just felt like a stunt hire to me.
I don't disagree.
It made it seem like they just wanted to have somebody affiliated with that organization already.
Yeah. I don't know, I was reading something about doing a trade. David Ross for Joe Girardi. So put Joe Girardi in as manager and put David Ross up in the booth of the Chicago Sports Network.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that would work better for them. I'm not 100% sure. We just wouldn't know until we see it.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that wouldn't happen, at least not like it's being proposed, but
yeah. But I think maybe we should actually maybe discuss where Shohei Ohtani goes. I don't think anything's happened in the last few minutes.
Nope. So I personally don't think Shohei Ohtani gets traded at the deadline. I think he stays with the Angels the rest of the year.
Yeah, the thing is, I felt like if he was going to get traded, he would have been traded last week or something like that.
Yeah. Unless this is one of those, rumored for weeks that Verlander is going to get traded by the Tigers, and then they take him off by the Tigers. They take him off the market, and then literally at 3:59, boom, he gets traded. That being said, I think he stays with the Angels the rest of the season. And I feel like the top 3 teams that are going to be in on him in the offseason are going to be the Mariners for the Ichiro connection, and they have the money. The Dodgers and the Yankees. Now, before I go too far on that, Ohtani is looking at being the first $600 million contract in sports history.
I mean, he will probably go where the money is most likely because we all know that the Dodgers and Yankees are capable of throwing out money, which they always do. Which is part of the reason why I felt like since the beginning of the year, I thought, okay, Ohtani's going to be in Dodger blue next year.
Right. You got to keep in mind. So let's hypothetically, because Ohtani is 30, I think.
So he's got maybe 7 years left at least, knock on wood.
Right. So I don't think he gets a 10-year contract. So if he were to get a $600 million contract for anything less than 10 years, that's over $60 million a year. Everyone's saying, oh, look at what Verlander and Scherzer just got, the valuation that they just got. Look at what Judge just got. You need to put those together. No. No team is going to wrap over $500 million into one player who is in the prime of his career now and will be out of it, I'm going to say, within the next 3 to 5 years.
I mean, if you're going to give somebody that kind of money, like, you better be making deep postseason runs, if not winning at least one championship out of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Because sometimes when I see a player get like a massive deal, no matter what sport it is.
Ohtani is 29, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, he'll probably be 30 when the season starts, maybe, depending when his birthday is.
Yeah.
So that's probably where the 30 came from, I would assume, because theoretically he is 30, most likely, depending on like if he turns 30 for next season begins. So let's just say a 30-year-old who has probably 7 years left, at least, knock on wood. Depending on the team that he goes to. I always question when a player gets, they sign these big contracts, these big extensions. I always question, are you sure you want to give them that much money? Because honestly, I don't think many athletes actually care after they get extensions.
Right.
Because you can tell by the way that their play goes down right after they get the money that they get. Like one example in another sport, Zeke Elliott for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
He has not been good at all since he got paid. And I think part of that is because he just doesn't care. He's just in it for the money, which I think most athletes are anyway.
I just saw a report, I think it was on Sunday, that Zeke is rumored to be visiting New England. I'm like, please no. Please just no.
Yeah, I believe that they had Leonard Fournette visit at some point last week as well.
Fournette, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind Fournette.
Yeah, Fournette, I think, still has some juice left to him. Zeke, I feel like Zeke does, but the question is he that passionate still about the game? But I think, if anything, I feel like Zeke returns to the Cowboys on like maybe a 1-year deal, a kind of prove it kind of deal.
Yeah. I can agree to that.
And then I think, are the Patriots also are they also having Dalvin Cook visit at some point?
I believe so. I don't recall for certain, but I believe so. What the hell just happened there? I just lost one of my... That was the camera. That was that. I just lost like half my lights for some reason. There we go. That was weird. And camera back up. You can still hear me at least, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Angel actually commented on the live chat about how the Yankees, they better be going after big names with all the budget that they have.
Yeah. No, I agree. There we go.
Like, I'll admit I'm like not a super fan of the MLB, but like, does the salary cap like exist in baseball like it does in the NFL and NBA?
Absolutely. 2 teams are out on Justin Verlander. Those 2 teams being the San Diego Padres and the San Francisco Giants. So the Dodgers
kind of surprised by that because we've seen the Padres be so aggressive the last couple trade deadlines.
Yeah. So the Dodgers, Astros, Orioles, and Braves are the only teams left in the Verlander sweepstakes.
Well, usually when it comes to like trying to predict who's going to win the World Series at this point in the year, you always got to think who's going to be the most aggressive at the trade deadline. Because I remember back in 2021, a lot of people I saw counted the Braves out until they went very aggressive at the trade deadline. Which, I mean, Ronald Acuna Jr. is a good athlete, but I feel like if he didn't get hurt that year, the Braves may not won the World Series because they wouldn't have had to go aggressive the way that they did.
Yeah. No, I agree with that completely.
And I believe the Braves, they acquired Brad Hand, I believe, which I think that's
so.
That's good use of the bullpen right there. Get someone like Brad Hand, because I feel like that was probably one of the few things they probably need.
Yeah, they did get Brad Hand. Actually, I think that's all they've done so far is get Brad Hand.
And when you look at a team like the Braves, and you think, what do they really need?
Slap this up again. What do the Braves need?
Like, do they truly need? Like, you truly ask yourself, what do they need?
Shortstop is a big thing for them. I mean, RC has been okay, but I think Von Grisham actually gets dealt. Maybe, especially if the Braves do wind up landing Verlander, I could see Von Grisham heading back the other way.
Yeah, I mean, with them needing a shortstop, I mean, kind of surprising they didn't go after Paul DeJong.
I'm surprised, but I'm not. And I was saying this before you came on. Paul DeJong, at one point back when the Cardinals were in their heyday with Pujols and Wainwright and Yachty before Pujols went to LA, Paul DeJong was great. He was their shortstop. Since then, he's kind of, and I don't think he has what it takes to be that star shortstop. Like, I think the reason that the Blue Jays got him is they're going to use him as a rental, so to speak, because Bo Bichette might be out for a good chunk, if not the rest of the season. They're not going to bring him back. I guarantee it. Paul DeJong will either wind up back in St. Louis in the offseason or somewhere else. I do not think he stays in Toronto.
I think that is a very strong possibility. But while we're on the topic of Cardinals, I do remember Nolan Arenado said he wouldn't be surprised if he was dealt to the deadline. Do you think he's probably one of those, like that one big name that might get announced in the final hours, something along those lines? Or do you think it would be more likely Verlander over him?
I think it's going to be Verlander over Arenado. However, I think if the Cardinals get a package that they cannot refuse, I would not be surprised to see him dealt as well, even though they said more than likely he will not be dealt and that they're going to be building for our hopeful championship run next season, which is why I think guys like Paul Goldschmidt won't be traded. Guys like Tyler O'Neill won't be traded. Why I'm kind of surprised that Jordan Montgomery got traded.
Yeah, but aren't the Cardinals at the bottom of the NL Central right now?
47 and 63. something along those lines.
They think they can actually win the World Series next year. I mean, I'm not like criticizing them, but you just got to think only one team's going to win it every year.
Yeah. I personally, I don't think that they will. They do have some young talent coming up. But personally, I would not be surprised if the Reds got a World Series bid before the Cardinals.
And I could see that happening too. Because as soon as you were telling me that they said they want to build a championship in 2024, it just makes me think, like, how do they plan on doing that? Because I did mention earlier, we don't see the Cardinals do anything. Like, we barely see them do anything.
Right. Like this trade deadline, they have been sellers, hardcore. I mean, they in three separate, and I said this a little while ago, they traded three separate players to the Blue Jays on three separate occasions. They just sent Jordan Montgomery to the Rangers because the Rangers thought Scherzer wasn't going to be enough to get them over the hump to beat Houston. And now Angels getting Giolito, Ronaldo Lopez, CJ Cron, and Randall Grichuk. They didn't think that was going to get them over the hump. I don't know, honestly. Could I see the Cardinals making it back to the playoffs next year? Maybe as that last wild card team.
Oh yeah, but because I think just recently there's now 3 wild card teams, right?
Last year, the year before that started, I forget which. But I don't foresee the Cardinals winning it all unless they get insanely lucky. And, they're right on the doorstep at this time next year. And they go out and they get, I can't think of any big names that'll be available next year. For lack of argument, a Verlander, whatever. I don't foresee the Cardinals making it all the way next year like they think they will.
Yeah, I mean, never say never, but because we do see some teams on occasion, they do make these deep runs that we don't expect. And that's not just the MLB, but it's in almost any sport.
We do have a live update from Matt Snyder. It sounds like the Astros are about to get Justin Verlander back. Nothing confirmed yet. They're still working out last minute things, but we could be seeing Verlander headed back to Houston, which I almost will guarantee you that at this point make the Rangers do something else and maybe go out and get, there it is right there. The Houston Astros have a deal in place to acquire ace Justin Verlander from the New York Mets. So, folks, we got ourselves breaking news. So, now with this happen, my screen is falling. That's lovely. With this happening now, are the Astros, with that move, all of a sudden the favorites to win the AL West again?
I do believe so, because even though Justin Verlander is up there in age, you still got to remember he's still got some gas in him.
Fuck. The 1 year I'm thinking that the Astros won't be a threat and won't even make the championship series for the first time in 7 years, and then they go out and get Verlander.
I want to see what they gave up in exchange for that.
I do too. I want to see what that return is.
Because something tells me that the Mets got ripped off there.
Probably. I'm almost wondering, is someone like a Forrest Whitley heading back the other way? Someone who's kind of struggled to make the club the last couple of years. Like he gets up for a little while for a taste of the majors, but then gets sent back down. It makes you wonder.
Verlander's in his... Is he hit 40 yet?
He's close. 38? Let me look. Oh, shit. He is 40.
So he's probably... I don't know. This could be his last season, maybe one more year after that. But...
Well, he just signed that 2 or 3 year deal, so he's got at least that long left. So now rotation mates to start the season are now division rivals at the trade deadline. Fucking Verlander back to Houston. That is the one spot I did not want him to go, was Houston. I didn't care where he went. I just did not want him going back to Houston.
Yeah, I think that probably not only makes the Astros favors that division, but I mean, if they can just stay healthy throughout the rest of the regular season, I feel like they might make them the favorite in the American League now.
Because here's my thing. Houston is only half a game back of the Rangers.
Yep.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, just when we think, okay, well, the Astros, they may not be a threat in the American League this season for once in about 7 years. They get Justin Verlander in the twilight of his career.
God damn it.
I don't know. It's starting to look like Braves and Astros in the World Series, but we'll see.
God, isn't that what the World Series just was last year?
2 years ago.
Who the hell? It was Astros and Phillies last year.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, and the Phillies, they're the perfect example of a team that we see that goes on a run that not only people expect. And that also does remind me, we talked earlier about like the massive contracts, and with Bryce Harper's 13-year deal for about $330 million, I think it is. They haven't won the World Series yet. They've gotten there, but they haven't finished the deal yet. And I see a few Phillies fans, they're being very critical again this season. I think this is the point where Phillies fans were like, oh, well, this team's done for. They don't have it in them anymore. Then they went on a run.
Yeah.
And part of me still holds out hope the Phillies, they could get hot again this year at the right time.
I agree.
Because sometimes in sports, it's all about getting hot at the right time.
Honestly, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised about this. Because I'm scrolling through Twitter trying to find other updates and whatnot. Whether it be a return for Verlander or whatever it may be. And it says now that the acquisition of Verlander for the Astros just totally smacked the Yankees' hopes of a wild card spot. Sell anything worth selling. And honestly, Johnny, at this point, I agree. If you can get something for Kiner Falefa, if you can get something for Bader, if you can get something for Torres, do it. Because your season just got obliterated in one move that had nothing to do with you.
Yeah, I also think that I don't know, Aaron Boone should be on the hot seat, in my opinion.
Aaron Boone's been on the hot seat since he got hired the first time, in my opinion. Like, if you want my honest opinion, he's been on the hot seat for 6 years.
And I think the reason why they haven't parted ways there in Boone yet is because I don't know what it is. Do they always just think, oh, well, we just came up short again because of XYZ? Or like, I feel like they should move on from him, but I think the reason why they won't is because they'll use the injuries as an excuse for why they didn't do well this year.
But here's the thing. You can only use that as an excuse so much.
You could probably use it maybe 1 or 2 times.
Yeah. Unfucking believable.
Although I think a lot of Yankees fans can be relieved by that. At least they're not going to be disappointed in October like they usually are.
Yeah, fair. Very fair play. Well, I guess now we got to see what's next.
Because I think we still got how much time left?
We got 3 hours.
That feels pretty late because I feel like it was usually at like maybe 4 Eastern time in the past.
Exactly.
Yeah, it feels a little bit longer this time around. I don't know why they just added that in all randomly like that. But I think most years, I think we'd be coming up on maybe the final hour of it.
Yeah, usually we are. Yankees getting interest on Harrison Bader, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, Wandy Peralta, and Gleyber Torres. Good. Trade them. Bye. See ya. Season's over. I'm calling it now.
It's almost kind of like that one Family Guy episode, but they were talking about the Mets, where they say like, "Oh, it's opening day. It's the first pitch, and the season's over."
Yep.
It's almost kind of like that, like just one move on the trade deadline day, and the season's over.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
Because I think the Yankees are what, like, are they like 13 games back in the division they're in, or
10.
is it more than that?
10.
10. Then how many games back in the wild card are they?
5, 6, something like that.
No, the thing is, 5 or 6. I feel like that could be pretty salvageable though to get to a wild card.
Oh, geez, on the wild card they're only 3.5.
Yeah, so 3.5. That's still salvageable.
And here's the thing: Boston is selling, Seattle is selling, Toronto was selling for a minute, but now they're buying. Yes, I mean we're only 3.5 back on the wild card, and for the National League wild card, you got 5 teams tied for for the spots.
Yeah, so that's why I think a lot of teams are like, ever since they added in that third wild card, we've seen more teams buying in at the deadline. It's been more aggressive that way.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's going to be the case. I mean, 3.5 back in a wild card, that's still salvageable. Your season is still alive to an extent.
Yep.
I mean, as much as I want to think that the season is over, it's still active. Only 3.5 back. All you just need to do is maybe get hot for like 2 weeks and you're back in it.
But here's the thing: is the Yankees have proven that they're not capable of doing that. They have not been hot for 2 weeks since the 2022 season.
And I think that was the case last year as well. Like the Yankees, they had a roller coaster type of season. It's like a couple weeks, it's like, oh, they look like World Series contenders, and a week later, it's like they're freezing cold.
See, I don't know. I don't recall that as much, only because of the fact of, they were the first team to, let's see, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 80 wins. And actually, I think they're the first team to 90 wins as well.
Well, it's probably maybe in 2021 I was thinking of.
Yeah, 2021. 2021 was definitely a holy crap, what are we doing?
That's probably what I was thinking of.
Yankees were pretty solid overall last year, which is why it's kind of surprising to me that what's happening is happening this year. But we are officially 3 hours until the trade deadline, and this, I'm going to advise right now, will not be going another 3 hours. Mainly because I have stuff I have to do around 5 o'clock. So
I don't get why they made it so long this year.
I didn't even think to look at what it was, because
are they just trying to encourage more things to happen, or?
Right, because if I knew that it was going to be this late, I wouldn't have even started this live stream until later on. Because I've already been at this since about 1:30. A little over.
It says you've been live for about an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah. Let's see. What else do we got going? Any rumors of any kind? Yankees selling, Phillies buying, anything? Live updates.
Are there, with 3 hours left, are there any big names that could still get dealt?
So the Verlander return is outfielder Drew Gilbert and at least one other prospect. So this was a 1-for-2.
Yeah,
It is
the Mets got ripped off. It doesn't matter if Justin Verlander is 40. The Mets, they got ripped off there.
It is unknown at this time how much money the Mets are paying Verlander.
Yeah, the Mets got absolutely scammed out of this deal.
Yep. Mets fans, congratulations! Your season is officially over.
Because they should have just been like, okay. I mean, because the Mets, they've already, Scherzer's been dealt already last
Scherzer
week.
got dealt. Mark Canha got dealt. Now Verlander. Would not be surprised to see some other guys possibly dealt as well. Like they've been talking to Tommy Pham. Oh, David Robertson got dealt to Miami. So I would not be surprised to see some other guys get dealt here sooner rather than later. And what I love about this trade deadline day is the fact that there's actual games going. So there is a real possibility we could see players getting pulled out of games that are on the block. Like, because I'm pretty sure there's a couple games going like right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna check on the ESPN app right here and see if there is games going on.
Okay, so scratch that. They are all tonight.
Yeah.
The first one starting 40 minutes after the trade deadline is over. However, you could possibly see some players make their debuts for their new teams today.
I didn't know it worked that way. Because I thought they had to Does it really work? Could it really work that way?
It could. So 2016, I believe it was, when or 2015, whatever year it was, that Chase Headley got traded from the Padres to the Yankees. He got traded to the Padres, or I'm sorry, to the Yankees. At about 10 in the morning Eastern time. Game time was 7:00, and he wasn't in the lineup, but he wound up getting the walk-off hit for the Yankees in his debut. Same day he got traded.
Wow. But yeah, if I remember correctly, just because the deadline's over, like as long as the faxing papers get to the MLB offices, we could still maybe hear somebody get called like a half hour later. And like after the deadlines. I think it's happened probably a couple times where people get announced like they're being traded like maybe 20, 30 minutes later after the deadline.
Oh, yeah. No, there's been times where, like, let's say the deadline was back at 4:00, a trade gets announced at 6:30. I've seen it happen. You know, they have to have the teams have to have the paperwork to Rob Manfred in his office by the 6 p.m. cutoff, saying, "Hey, this is happening. We're just working out the logistics."
Do people even like Rob Manfred?
No. And the fact that he just like freaking Roger Goodell, and the fact that Rob Manfred just got extended through 2029, everyone's saying, great, how is he going to ruin baseball now? Because he has another 6 years to do it.
You know what he probably could do? Maybe they start like playing like the Savannah Bananas.
Oh my God. Astros received Justin Verlander, Mets received Drew Gilbert and Ryan Clifford.
The Mets, they needed to get a little more than that because the Astros, they're one of the teams that were going to go aggressive and go all in. They need to get more than that because the Mets at this point, they just need to rebuild.
Right. Once again, I apologize if anyone can hear my dogs in the background. They are going at each other for some reason.
But if we don't see like big names get dealt in the next 3 hours or so, like it's just gonna be like one of those kind of small trades, right? Like maybe you'll get like a guy that's maybe hit like maybe 7 home runs throughout the entire season so far, like get dealt for maybe like
a
bullpen guy that would probably pitch like a 12th or 13th inning kind of game. Because a lot of the small trades, they do take place around this time.
Yeah. What's surprising the hell out of me is the fact that the Yankees haven't done a damn thing, regardless of buying or selling. Like, they haven't done anything.
Isn't that what the Yankees usually do? I think they did it. Was it a couple years ago they didn't do anything?
2 or 3 years ago, they didn't do anything. And then I forget who it was, but there was some player who wound up getting put on waivers, and they picked him up, and it ended up paying off. But last couple of years, the Yankees have been a buyer looking for a corner outfielder, and they go and get Joey Gallo. Then the next year, they go and get Benintendi. And this year, they're looking for a corner outfielder. They're not necessarily a buyer, but they're looking for a corner outfielder, and they're doing nothing.
I think they just got to think of what they need to actually do, because 3.5 games back in a wild card spot, your season's still salvageable. Because there's still probably, I don't know, is it maybe 30 or 40 games left in the regular season?
Something like that. 162. Yankees are 53 and 53, so that's 106.
Yeah, so about
56 games left.
I mean, they can bank up 3.5 games in that amount of time. Like you said, they haven't shown they're capable of doing that.
Yeah.
I'll be back in about 10 minutes, though.
All right, Bob.
All right, thanks for having me on so far. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get back with you here in a few. All right, I'm actually gonna run in quick, grab a beverage, guys. So I will be back in a moment. Yeah, more trade deadline to come. All right, and we are back. Perfect timing. So, a couple reports while we were away. There is speculation of Salvador Perez possibly heading to the Miami Marlins, which I didn't even know was even in the cards. Hard to say if it'll actually happen. Looks like there's some disagreements on what Kansas City will get back. But that's the name of the game sometimes, you know? Let's see what we got going on. What other possible rumors or deals or anything like that we possibly have happening. Or have a little snack. Can't go wrong with Cheez-Its. I'm looking to see because there's a couple other YouTuber, I guess you could say friends of mine, that are doing trade deadline streams as well. I was kind of looking to see what they were using to get all their news, but it looks like they're mostly using Twitter. All right, here's something worth noting. Yankees lineup just got released. Bowers and right, Judge at DH. All right, load. Torres at second, Rizzo at first, LeMahieu third, Kiner Falefa in left, McKinney in center, Volpe at short, Higashioka is catching. So it makes me wonder, is Bader on the move? This is really getting tough, guys. I don't know. I really am starting to think Yankees are going to sell if they do anything. Where are you, San Francisco? There you are. I forgot they got. Shut that didn't save. God damn it. But yeah, I forgot the Giants got AJ Pollock, so I want to throw that in there quick. A lot of pitchers being moved around. A lot of pitchers. So, guys, I'm probably going to call this around 4:30 or so. So another hour and 15 minutes, give or take. Nothing more yet. So the Blue Jays checked in on Connor Falafel from the Yankees. Update. Implied eyeball emoji in response to Yankees lineup for tonight, referring to the fact that Bader's not in it. That's fair. So the Astros actually come to Yankee Stadium Thursday through Sunday. And who's probably going to start game 3 of that series? Justin Verlander. Just wild to me. Like, I kind of expected with all the rumors going around with this trade deadline, it to be a lot more active. I mean, don't get me wrong, there have been trades. But I expect there to be a lot more. Per Jack Curry, Yankees not expected to move Gleyber Torres. No new updates. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me back, man. Yeah, I just had a couple things to take care of, but I am back.
Sweet, sweet. So, the Yankees announced their lineup while you were gone.
Okay. Oh, for tonight's game?
And Bader is not in it.
Oh, wow.
Glaber is in it.
That is kind of a red flag right there for Bader not to be in that lineup. That makes you think. Because I doubt they'd give Bader a day off at this point in the year. Although we did see the Phillies give Castellanos a day off yesterday. Which is a player I enjoy watching very much so.
It has nothing to do with getting a day off. It's the fact that he's been speculated to be traded and now isn't in the lineup.
Yeah,
So,
if Bader's not in the lineup, it makes you think they're going to at least like try to make some deals.
They're entertaining offers, at least for sure.
I mean, unless a deal's already been made and hasn't gotten announced yet.
Right. Kiner Falefa is in the lineup. Glaber is in the lineup. Peralta is available out of the pen. Bader is the only one not there.
I mean, for all we know, I mean, they could have maybe made a trade deal like maybe 10, 50 minutes ago and it hasn't.
Yeah.
Because all these trades have to be reported to somebody.
Yeah. I'm waiting for a tweet that says Bader does not have a locker in the locker room.
Yeah, it looks like I'm looking at the MLB the MLB channel. They're showing batting practice for the Yankees right now.
See, I can't watch MLB Network anymore because I don't have any kind of cable, and they took it off of all streaming. So unless someone's trying to hook me up with their login so I can watch it.
I'm sure there's like burner sites or something that they have that coverage on.
I've tried finding
like
one.
Reddit streams or something.
I've been looking. I haven't seen anything.
So I usually find Reddit streams pretty well for like the NFL because being in the Midwest, you're stuck seeing like the Chiefs almost every week. Well, Chiefs every week. Then like the Vikings most weeks. Like kind of the same handful of teams, and I want to watch a variety of games. So I've had success finding streams on Reddit. I don't know if you've been looking there, but maybe Reddit's got something.
Sling, Fubo, VidGo, and DirecTV stream.
I don't get why everything has to be like, I don't know, TV is just being ruined nowadays, I think. Because it's going to be like an NFL playoff game on like Peacock this year. It's like why?
Right. Seeing any of these subscriptions are anywhere from $50 to $100 a month. I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, I'd rather just find like burner streams on like Reddit.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe there's something on Pluto TV, maybe. I'm not sure how much Pluto TV is per month.
I have Pluto. It's not there. So the Mariners are not engaged in discussions about trading Logan Gilbert.
There's not even like a channel dedicated to MLB on there.
Just like games, but not. Like I couldn't even watch the Hall of Fame coverage this year when Roland and what's his name got inducted.
Everything just going up for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Just pisses me off. I'm surprised Derek Pop hasn't shown up yet on this stream. I'm surprised by that.
Oh yeah.
Because he'd usually be harassing me right now.
For what?
Just almost anything. Like asking if I've been harassed lately or something about like the power going out or something.
What else we got?
How many
Tigers-
followers do you have on TikTok, by
hold
the
up.
way?
Tigers are close to trading Michael Lorenzen to the Phillies.
I mean, Michael Lorenzen, he hasn't had the best numbers this season so far.
Yeah.
And I believe on the All-Star break, he was 4-6 on the year, right?
I think so.
Because I remember seeing a bunch of people all complaining about like the All-Star game or something about them saying, oh, every team has to be represented or something. And now they're complaining about the rule. I don't know how you feel about that personally, because you're more of a super fan of baseball than I am.
Which one are you talking about? I'm sorry.
That new rule in the All-Star game where every team has to be represented or something like that.
That's not new. That's how it's been for a while.
I thought it was just recent. Because I saw like a TikTok of a clip on TikTok of a guy complaining about it, saying like they have to get rid of this new rule where they say every team has to be represented. And then he was complaining about like how Michael Lorenzen was in the All-Star game for somebody. I forgot who it was.
Now, don't get me wrong. I don't agree with Lorenzen being the Tigers representative. I think it should have been Miguel Cabrera, being that it's his last season.
Oh yeah.
But
see, I wish Cabrera would have gotten traded to like a contending team. Like I wish that would have been.
Here's the thing, though. You know damn well he wasn't. You knew he wasn't going to get traded.
Well, it would have been nice to see, but yeah. Because he's at least one of the greatest players like in the 21st century. Because I was going to ask how many followers you had on TikTok, because I know somebody suggested you do a TikTok live earlier.
Yeah. Hold on. TikTok, I have 258.
Now, do you post on there often, or are you more like a casual poster?
It depends. I go in spurts.
So I think I'm like that as well, but like with like fantasy football season like on the horizon, I'll probably post on there more. Because I just followed you on there. Have you done any fantasy drafts yet?
No, not yet. I don't think I have any for a couple weeks yet.
Because I've had a couple already, and I've had a draft for a 10-team dynasty league that's best ball. I had a 20-team draft.
Oh, good
done.
Lord.
Yeah. Yeah, 20 teams back on July 1st, I think it was.
Hopefully it's literally like one quarterback, one running back, one wide receiver, one tight end, a kicker, and a defense.
Oh, I actually did a 32-team league last year.
Good
and it
God.
was
How is there anybody left?
That's what I was wondering, because ever since I saw like the Walter Picks creators on TikTok doing their 32-team leagues, I'm like, I want to do one of these one year. So I was lucky enough to find 31 other people on TikTok that would take part in that.
Yeah, I could never.
I mean,
that draft would take so long. It's not even funny.
Actually, no. Actually, it wouldn't though, because it was only 12 rounds. It was 6 starters, 6 bench spots. So I feel like I got mine done in like maybe a little over an hour and a half. So not as long as I thought it was going to be.
That's fair.
But in the 10-team draft I did last week, I mean, unfortunately, my second round pick was Jonathan Taylor, and of course, it's like, darn it.
Talking about not playing now, or at least not playing for the Colts.
I don't know though. I feel like I don't know. I don't play with fantasy with fear at all. I still think Jonathan Taylor, like, he still offers a top 3 running back upside this season. But I don't know if I have a winning team though. But I mean, I do like my receiving core in this league though.
Oh, there we go. The Philadelphia Phillies are in agreement on a trade to acquire right-handed starter Michael Lorenzen from the Detroit Tigers. The Phillies have made their first move of the trade deadline.
Yeah, and if the Phillies were, I feel like if the Phillies were in any other division, I feel like they probably would be sellers at this point. So I think at least I feel like they would.
No, I agree with that completely.
Aren't they 11 games back of the Braves right now?
I'm honestly not sure.
Because I think it was in the double digits as far as how many games back they are.
Ernie Clement has a locker in the Blue Jays clubhouse, wherever the fuck that is.
You said Ernie Clement?
Yep.
In the Blue Jays locker room?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, looks like he's a second baseman on the Blue Jays.
Hey, Dodgers. We will give you Giancarlo Stanton for 3 prospects, and we will trade you our entire bullpen, but you have to trade the bullpen back in the offseason. Deal?
That's a nice dig there at the Dodgers. Well, at least for their bullpen wise. Because the handful of Dodgers games I've watched this season, like the bullpens let them down.
Yeah. So Bader, 35 minutes ago, was taking batting practice. So nothing yet.
But he's not in the lineup though. That's a huge deal. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he comes on as a pinch in tonight's game, possibly.
If he doesn't get traded.
I don't know. Do you think maybe they just did that just to like? Because I would imagine that, like all the teams see the Yankees put their lineup out, like all 29 of their teams,
Mm-hmm.
and they were just trying to maybe bait them into like seeing what offer they'd get.
Maybe.
Just like I think with Jim Irsay the other day, like he makes the statement saying that they're not going to trade Jonathan Taylor, not now and not in October. Of course, I'm not sold on that statement. I do think he's just baiting teams into seeing like who's going to throw in a 24 first, then maybe a couple seconds.
Yeah.
Like I think it's just that kind of reasoning. But of course, most people would disagree with me and say, well, the running backs have not been treated well in the offseason, and it's gotten to the point where the running backs are in a Zoom meeting working together to change the current narrative of running backs.
Oh, wow. Stanton also sitting, I just realized.
Stanton's also
he's also not in the lineup. I don't think he'll get traded though.
Yeah, I feel like Stanton not being in the lineup, I feel like that would be he's probably put him on as a pinch hitter at some point in the game.
Yeah.
Because don't they usually give Stanton like a day off at the beginning?
At least once a week.
Yeah. Or at least like every couple weeks or something.
When asked if Luis Severino will make his next start, Aaron Boone said everything is on the table.
Do you think they'd trade Severino?
I think it's definitely possible.
I would imagine there could be somebody that they would want to be aggressive, go all in. Yeah, I'm surprised the Padres, they've been quiet to an extent. Because I remember the last couple of years, we've been talking about how the Padres are the most aggressive team at the deadline. But now, to an extent, they're a little bit quiet.
Literally nothing. Nothing new at all on any website.
But I admire your spirit from earlier, referring it to Twitter still, even though people are saying it's X now. But
I'm not gonna because that's what I say. I'm like, so is it still called a tweet?
or is it an X? Like, what do they say instead of like, oh, he just tweeted? Did he? I was gonna say he just X'd.
Right.
Maybe I should make my own social media account called like Y or something. If that's like available. It's like he could have picked any letter in the alphabet, but he chose X. I wonder if there's a social media app out there called Y.
So Lorenzen to Philly is pending medical. which is not surprising.
You don't all trades depend on medical anyway.
For the most part.
But they just kind of bring it up when they think that they're not like healthy or something.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you right now, though, George Steinbrenner is rolling in his fucking grave at this team.
I'm guessing because of how bad it is right now.
Oh, yeah. Verlander deal only awaits medicals. Gilbert and Clifford are the prospects coming back to the Mets. Money goes to Houston.
Still waiting on that Derek Popino guy. I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't been here yet. I'm trying to tell him to join, see if he's gonna try to taunt me.
Why are you even trying to get him to taunt you? Like you're antagonizing him. Like why?
You know, we just play around most of the time.
Multiple front office sources confirm the White Sox will trade anyone except Luis Robert, yet they haven't traded a single soul. Yankees are probably going to acquire someone that's going to get you a 0.4 in the MLB Immaculate Grid next week.
The Immaculate Grid?
It's a kind of like a different kind of Wordle.
Oh, okay. Like where you guess the player or something, and it's like, because I think I've seen like NFL Wordle before.
Kind of, yeah. So what it is so like let's say you have the Red Sox, Brewers, and Cy Young season here. Okay.
So like you put in the
so here, so you have Red Sox, Brewers, Cy Young, and then on the side you have, I don't know, Yankees, Mets, and MVP, just hypothetical. You have to put someone who's been a Yankee and a Red Sox.
Okay.
Someone who's been a Brewer and a Yankee.
Oh, those things.
And a Yankee to win the Cy Young.
Oh yeah.
And then the next row.
I've seen those before.
Yeah.
Like it's like 9 squares, right?
Yep, exactly.
I've seen a lot of people do those.
And, yeah, they have it now. They have it now for MLB, NFL, NBA, and hockey, I think.
And I think the goal is to have it be the most unique answer. Like
you want your rarity score to be very low.
Yeah. Like I think I saw one do it, and it was like who played for like the Giants and 49ers or something, or like who like had 1,000-yard season and played for like the Vikings or something.
Yeah.
I've seen examples of those.
There's just nothing going on right now. Like all radio waves have gone silent.
I honestly wonder if they're going to regret pushing the trade deadline back a couple hours if nothing else happens.
I know, because like we would only be 15 minutes, but no, because you know what's going to happen, right? From 5 to 6, it's going to go haywire, just like it did usually from 3 to 4.
Yeah, and you said you had to leave at some point because as I keep forgetting that you're on the East Coast.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up somewhere between 4:30 and 5.
Okay.
Wait, I thought you were on the East Coast. Where the hell are you?
I'm in the Midwest.
Oh shit.
Good old Nebraska. Good old Nebraskan.
Nebraska, yeah, you're an Atlanta guy when it comes to sports.
My favorite teams are like all over the board.
Yeah. Because I thought you said you. Because I know you're a Falcons guy,
Yeah.
and I thought you were a Braves guy, but maybe
I
I'm
will
wrong.
tell you what, I actually made a YouTube short on it recently about how I became a fan of the Falcons, and I pretty much talk about like the first NFL game I ever watched. It was a Falcons game. It was where Michael Vick just absolutely cooked the Rams in the playoffs. Like it was just a sight to see.
Come on, do something. I don't care. Just something.
Yeah, trade like I don't know, like trade hot dog vendors or something.
Mariners acquire Edward Bizzardo from the Orioles. So that was kind of just like a nothing for nothing kind of trade. Corbin Carroll reached 25 home runs and 35 stolen bases in his first 134 career games. The only player to do it sooner, Mike Trout in 128.
Yeah, Mike Trout's that generational talent.
Finish this sentence. The trade I still hate my team the most for is blank.
It's kind of hard to pick, man, because the trade that I hate the most. I mean, I could say to extent for the Falcons, I really didn't like the Julio Jones trade. I mean, I felt like he may have had something still left in the tank, but I think the picks they got in exchange from that, like it felt like in hindsight that they got ripped off, and so I forgot who they took with that second round pick from the Titans. Like, or maybe I could hate the fact the Falcons didn't actually trade for Calvin Ridley to the Eagles, because I think there's like a rumor that the Falcons, they were about to trade Calvin Ridley to the Eagles before the news broke to be suspended for the entire 2022 season. Which I guess maybe it could have been a smart move, though, considering that they would lose a trading partner for the future, like for a long time because of it. I don't know if you've been watching the Women's World Cup, though, this year, though, but
Nope.
Not your thing.
Not a big soccer guy.
I mean, I watch it on a casual basis, but yeah, it doesn't look like the U.S. team's going to win it all again, because they have not looked good throughout the group stage.
The Mets are sending the Astros about $54 million in the Verlander trade. If Verlander's $35 million options, or one of the executives said, if Verlander's $35 million option in 2025 becomes vested. Verlander is owed about $93 million, meaning the Astros would pay Verlander about $29 million for 2 1/3 years.
So you can get $94 million out of this. And as I can see, like through the bottom of the screen, just have the Royals traded anybody yet? Because we all know the Royals is pretty much regular sellers at the trade deadline. So I was kind of speculating that they may consider trading Brady Singer at some point.
Singer, I thought, might get traded. There was talk about Salvador Perez possibly getting traded.
Yeah, that's what I'm surprised that he hasn't been traded. Wow. That's a name that stuck out to me as someone that I felt like.
Yeah.
Because I think he still has. Is he still on a 2-year deal with the Royals right now? Like 2 more years left on his contract or something? Yeah.
I think so.
Because he's that last player stand. He's the last man standing from that World Series team. And
yep.
It's basically Salvador and a bunch of kids almost on the Royals.
Like, I think they just need to build around Bobby Witt and call it a day.
Yeah, because the Royals, they're at the minimum like 4 to 5 years away from getting back to a playoff contender kind of spot. Like, they just need to be rebuilding for the next 4 to 5 years. Because Bobby Witt is just he's a phenomenal talent.
Mm-hmm.
And he's someone I don't want to see his career get wasted. Like, a lot of big years in career get wasted by being on a bad team.
It's literally though. Honestly, if nothing more happens in the next 10 minutes, I may just call it at 4.
Okay. I wouldn't blame you for that, because we're kind
of just creating dead air right now. You know what I mean?
That's one of the cons to doing a stream like this long for a trade deadline, is because most of the time stuff doesn't really happen for like at least a half hour, and you got to come up with filler.
Like, it'd be one thing if I had like a bunch of followers and stuff like that, or if I had like a whole panel of people that we could like talk about different stuff until shit actually happens. But
and I think that's the difficulty having like a sports channel, is because it's like sports videos, they are already inconsistent as it is. Like, I can rarely find a sports channel that gets close to the same amount of views every single time.
You know, you got your guys like Fuzzy, like Draftnik Mark, like those guys. But then not really much after that.
I mean, urinating tree is pretty good.
What?
Urinating tree. He always has something to say about those Chargers or the Pirates or something. I haven't watched his Dan Snyder video yet. I'll have to watch that when you sign off here.
The Orioles need to throw everything they can at the White Sox to get Dylan Cease.
And I think the reason why the White Sox wouldn't do that is I feel like they're still in it because they're in that division where like everybody's bad in there. Like, you're just trying to be the best, the worst.
Yeah.
Because I think starting next year, I think what you got to really do though is you got to look at the MLB standings and just say, okay, like look at every division. Like, okay, this team looks like they're still in playoff contention. Like you look at bottom feeders, like in the league, about teams that could be sellers.
Yeah.
Because as I mentioned earlier, the reason why the Yankees probably aren't doing anything is because they're only 3.5 back in the wild card. They think they can still salvage a wild card spot. But if the Yankees did trade Harrison Bader in the next couple hours, what do you think they'd get in return? Like maybe a couple prospects, or maybe like a prospect and maybe somebody that could help them just for the rest of the year?
If they trade Bader?
Yeah.
Probably a low-level prospect. Like double-A at best. And then what they'll likely do is they'll call up like Florial or someone like that to take his spot for the rest of the season. Maybe Calhoun. But I really don't see much happening in the next couple minutes, so I think I might start to...
Like, I don't see Dylan Cease getting traded until, like, knowing how life goes, you'll probably sign off, and then 5 minutes later there's talks about it.
Oh, yeah. I guarantee you that I sign off here, and within the next 20, 30 minutes, just all hell breaks loose. I guarantee it.
Because that's unfortunate. It usually happens. And I think, I feel like if you had, like if you had maybe, like, 20,000 subscribers or something, maybe you'd get a bunch of people on here still, and then that would kind of, it would it'd fill out a lot of that filler that is going on right now. But I don't know, it's just difficult with sports channels for some reason.
Yeah. Like, sports channels don't get the love that they once did. That's why, like, I mean, you gotta think about it, Johnny. I haven't uploaded a video in over a year. Like, this is my first video in over a year.
And I think a big reason for sports channels not getting that attention is because there's already, like, people just have a short attention span. So they're just going to TikTok so they can watch, like, a condensed version of what you're talking about now.
Right. But, alrighty. I think I'm going to start to wrap this up.
All right. Well, thanks for having me again this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if there's one thing that's a constant, it's this.
I mean, remind me next year to say nothing's going to happen at the trade deadline, and maybe things will happen.
Yeah.
Because I actually came in with some optimism we could see some moves. But the biggest thing of the day has been Verlander back to the Astros. Like, the Astros are now probably the favorite in the American League, in my opinion. As long as assuming
American
they can
League West. I'm not going to say American League.
Well, as long as they can stay healthy, possibly, because they'll have the postseason experience compared to a lot of other teams. Those deep runs.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I know Altuve has been injured throughout the year, but I think he came back pretty recently.
I don't know if he actually made it back yet. I know he's due back soon. I don't know if he actually made it back yet.
Because I felt like he played last night. Because I actually have Altuve in my. I have Altuve in my fantasy team.
Maybe in like a pinch hitting role or something. So anyway, really quick, guys, just one last time through. Key acquisitions: Houston got Justin Verlander. Texas got Aroldis Chapman, Max Scherzer, and Jordan Montgomery. The Angels got Lucas Giolito, Ronaldo Lopez, Randall Grichuk, and C.J. Cron. Dodgers, Kike Hernandez and Joe Kelly coming back from that 2017 through 2019 stretch. Ahmed Rosario, Lance Lynn also joining the Dodgers. G-Man Choi and Rich Hill are heading out to San Diego. Paul Sewald heading to Arizona. A.J. Pollock to San Francisco. Brad Hand to Atlanta. Miami gets Jorge Lopez and David Robertson. The Mets get jack shit. No, I'm kidding. The Mets got Acuna's brother. That's something, I guess. Michael Lorenzen to Philly. Tampa Bay got Aaron Savali. Baltimore, Shintaro Fujinami. Toronto got Genesis Cabrera, Jordan Hicks, and Paul DeYoung. Minnesota gets Dylan Floro. Cleveland gets Noah Syndergaard. Chicago White Sox got Trace Thompson. The Cubs got Jeimer Candelario. The Milwaukee Brewers so far have acquired Mark Canha and Carlos Santana. And that is it.
And the Yankees have gotten nothing.
Literally. And one last check on Twitter and CBS just to make sure nothing's happening before we sign off.
Before you sign off, though, Lance Lynn is something that sticks out to me because he's somebody that he may be up there in age, but he can still get just lots of quality starts. Like Lance Lynn is somebody that I always have my eye on every year.
So the Giants are rumored to be shopping Joey Bart. Nothing guaranteed. Mets are listening on everyone not named Pete Alonso and Brett Beatty. And that's about it. So, Johnny, I want to thank you for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
We'll try and do more stuff at some point. Maybe we'll do some on your channel as well at some point because I know we did that one year. So, and be sure to subscribe to Johnny Sports Network, not Johnny Talk Sports anymore.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Drop a subscription here as well. Ardent Sports. I'm going to try and start being active again. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you should probably do your NFL picks again. So I think the NFL picks, those will get.
I might bring those back. I
think that'll get traction.
I might bring those back. But anyway, guys, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell. Never to help out channel. For Ardent Sports, I'm Zach. That's Johnny.
And since we're signing on, and since he's signing off, Dylan C should be traded about 20 minutes. So, gotta beware.
You're an asshole. Peace out, guys.